AITA for hating the mattress my husband bought. My husband and I needed a new mattress. Husband is a technophile and researched the best mattresses across multiple independent review sites and landed on a brilliantly reviewed all-singing, all-dancing memory foam one. Only one problem: I have, not for the past year, traveled a lot with work, sleeping in many different hotels, and memory foam mattresses are my sleep nemesis. I hate them. I explained this and asked that we look at alternatives. Having described what I feel most comfortable on, he found one example on one bed site that was twice what he was willing to pay and shut down the conversation. The next day, while we were both working from home and I had a tight deadline, he came into my workroom to again plug the merits of the memory foam. I was really busy, and after 10 minutes of him going on at me while I tried to work, I snapped and told him to get whatever the hell he wants. A week later and we are 2 sleeps in and the mattress is as hideous as anticipated. Worse, if anything, the all-singing all-dancing nature means that the foam is incredibly dense and retains so much heat. The gases it is releasing are setting off my asthma, giving me headaches and dizziness, and all of my joints are aching. Despite all this, my husband expects me to love it and is hurt that I don't. He is focusing on the moment that I told him to buy whatever he wants and doesn't seem to understand that he didn't listen to my experience and then badgered me at a completely inappropriate time. I accept that I should have been more forceful in asking to speak about it later, but from past experience he's not the type to back down to one person's experience when a review site outcome is concerned. NTA at all. This seems like you have much larger communication issues. Disrespecting your very clearly stated wishes and trying to win this argument on a technicality is very concerning behavior from your husband. He pressured you in a difficult moment to get his way. This is your sleep. Your opinion matters so much. I hope he's reasonable and wonderful in other areas of your life, because this is not okay. You need a new mattress that fits both of your needs. And perhaps marriage counseling. NTA. Your husband bullied you into the mattress. Hope he likes sleeping alone when you inevitably get your own bed in another room. And who could blame you? NTA. Memory foam mattresses are literally the worst, so I agree with you on that. It's the fact he didn't listen to any of your feelings, and him saying, "Oh but you told me to get whatever I wanted," is a cop-out. A mattress is something you spend a lot of time on, and it's important that it suits all your needs. Emo. I think it's something that is worth spending extra money on. Could it be returned? I don't believe reviews on websites are the best way to shop for a mattress. You need to go to a store together and try them out for yourself. Not sure if your country, so that may not be a possibility right now. If you can't come to an agreement, get 2 single beds, mattress of your choice, and push them together. Lol. Yes up. Some of the memory foam mattresses come with a 30-day trial period. You could possibly get your money back. NTA. He relied on feedback from strangers rather than your input. Look, online reviews are potentially great, but they aren't you, and they aren't flawless. He needs to send it back and agree on ground rules about what type of mattresses you are willing to consider. I hate memory foam myself. AITA for laughing at my mom when she told me she would never let a man come between us. For starters, I just want to say I, 21F, love my mom, 49F. I think for the most part she is a great lady, though she has a fear of ending up alone, which oftentimes means she stays with men too long and disregards us. Now this attribute wasn't too bad until she met her now fiancé David. David is not my cup of tea. Before my mom and him were together, my mother and I never fought, but David would constantly instigate fights between us for no reason. Literally one time he told my mom I was being disrespectful for going to a school-sponsored event and not getting home right on time because the buses were late. He also makes terribly rude remarks to my siblings and I, most of them being grossly sexist, homophobic, and ableist. My brother has a mental disability which David perceives as him being lazy. He also makes rude remarks to my mom a lot, but does it under the guise of being nice or helpful, which basically means he says it with a smile. He was not very nice to his animals either, which I think is disgusting, but luckily he doesn't have any at the moment, so I don't need to worry. Told my mom from the beginning, when I was 17, that I didn't like him and she told me she wouldn't sacrifice my happiness for hers. So now since I'm an adult I usually just leave her be. The other day though we were talking about a friend of hers who is basically emotionally abusing one of her kids to appease a man. My mom said, "Ugh, it's just terrible, I would never let a man treat my kids like that or come between us." Which I just laughed at. She got irritated at that and asked why I laughed, and I just said that she might not have been as bad as her friend, but David does treat us disrespectfully, which you have chosen to ignore. I told her it's fine now and you should hold your friend accountable, but you're also being a hypocrite. She freaked out, started crying and hung up. My brothers thanked me for saying something and said I was in the right, while my aunt called and said I'm an adult now so it shouldn't be any of my concern what my mom does / who she dates. Which I guess is right. Though AITA, I didn't even think what I said was that bad and are all things I had said as a minor as well. Edit, my mom is not 21 lol, I am 21, she is 49. I edited the posted so that's not as confusing. Hope this helps. NTA. Tell your aunt your mother is an adult now and it shouldn't be her concern when her sister is rightly called on out being a pot calling a kettle black. Lol, that's true. Didn't really think of what a weird sentiment it was that she believes that my mom is like exempt from ridicule, within her relationships at least, just because we're both adults. Like, sorry, I didn't know that's how it works. I'll tell my mom that next time she tries to give me advice on boys. NTA. Being an adult doesn't mean what she did wasn't comparable to her friend. Stick up for yourself and your siblings. She has let a man get between your relationship. Thank you. That's kinda what I felt also. I had also told her these things as a kid too, so I don't know why it's so she's so shocked now lol. But thank you. NTA. She's upset because she knows you are correct. Lol, yeah, I guess that could be true. Thank you. NTA. This is called virtue signaling, and good for you to call her on it. You shouldn't go out of your way to be mean, you totally weren't, but don't let her revise history right in your face lol. She seems very unself-aware, self-unaware, smiles. Lol, she definitely is. I think she, like many others, likes to hold people accountable without holding herself accountable sometimes. I don't know, but thanks for your vote. AITA. For not letting my mother grieve her daughter. I am an pride flag woman and throughout my life have been described as tomboy. I feel like that is a bit of an outdated way to say it, but pretty much a woman who isn't extremely femme. My mother always wanted a femme daughter. She is pretty into sewing, clothes, dresses, would have loved me to play with dolls, and be into things considered more feminine. I have tried a few times in my life to humor this, but it's not me. For example, my mother made me a dress for graduate. I think this was about both of us, to be fair. She wanted to have a feminine daughter for the night, but she also wanted me to look good for me. I look back on this with mixed feelings. It's true in my photos I looked nice, but I also felt extremely uncomfortable. Sometimes it's clear my mother has issues about who I am, but she's generally remorseful when she says or does something inconsiderate. I think she's just had a tough time getting over stuff she was brought up to believe. Recently she was going on about how my aunt has a lovely daughter and she doesn't know how my aunt got so lucky. She hates my aunt. TBH, my aunt isn't very likable. My cousin is very feminine, attractive and has young children. She was going on and I said it sounds like you would rather have her as a daughter. My mother said for the grandchildren, maybe. She said it in a joking kind of way, but I think she meant it. And yeah, I probably shouldn't have asked if I couldn't handle it, but my insecurities got the better of me. I can't have children. It's not about me being pride flag. If a future partner was willing to do it, I would, or foster, but I can't have genetic children due to my health. This doesn't keep me up at night. I'm okay with it going either way, but it didn't feel good to be compared to my cousin. My dad and I are close. I told him I was upset about my mother and how she acts sometimes. He said it's hard for her, but I have to let her grieve her daughter. I was like, I am her daughter. I'm not dead. And he was like, no, the daughter she wanted, and proceeded to reiterate how my mother wanted a femme daughter and I should be more considerate of the fact she's grieving the loss of that daughter and that realistically I have to come to terms with the fact she might never fully get over this. I hung up on him and I haven't spoken to my parents for 2 weeks. I don't actually think it's realistic for me to expect my mother to change. I think he has a point. I will talk to them again, but I just need a bit of space. They want to talk to me again now. My dad said I'm being an ass to get so hung up on this. I just need to let her grieve without making her feel bad, especially in the current world situation. It's time to get over it now. We're family. And what am I trying to achieve here? What I'm trying to achieve tbh. AITA, should I be more considerate of her grief? Edit, I went to sleep and when I woke up this had gotten a lot bigger than I expected. Thanks for your judgments and words. I'm still looking at new comments and catching up throughout the day. In a comment I go more into why I worded my post as I did with the pride flag. For clarity I'll just say here I'm a cis woman and direct people to read my comment if they want to understand my wording choice further. Victory hand. NTA. Tell them it's hard for you and they have to let you grieve the loving and accepting parents that you wanted. NTA. Using the word grieve implies that, to her, your lack of femininity is in some way analogous to you being dead. I'd be fucking furious if I were in your position. It's an incredibly cruel thing for them to say. Not to mention compounding it with the comments about grandchildren. If you were feeling petty you might point out that if they were to experience actual parental grief it would entail them not speaking to you for a damn sight longer than 2 weeks. NTA, this ain't no Build-A-Bear, you can't make your child into something they're just not and your mother needs to accept this. NTA, if your mother, according to your dad, can grieve she doesn't have the femme daughter she wanted, you can sure as heck grieve that you don't have the loving, accepting mother you deserve to have.